happy that we got Bin Laden and threw him in the ocean, but we should have done it during Shark Week. I like Shark Week. It's on the Discovery Channel, and if you want to watch Whale Week, turn on Jersey Shore. Snooki announced she was pregnant yesterday. You know that? Snooki is pregnant, yes, and in a very similar story, the father of the baby just won Fear Factor.
All right, Sammy Showroom. We're down here in the lower cargo hold in the basement of the ship, and I'm here with my buddy Adam Hunter, an extremely funny comic. First time in Reno, right?
Yeah, I was actually here for a college convention, and it was really weird. It was like college kids, and then the gay cowboy convention was in there. So, and then the kids were all Mormons. All the college, so it was Mormon kids and gay cowboys all in one hotel. It was very strange.
So tell me about, you got some cool stuff coming up. You have a show on Fuel?
Yeah, we're shooting a pilot that's going to air called Kamikaze Comedy, where I do comedy people aren't expecting it. So like I would pose as like a yoga instructor, and then people would come to the yoga class, and I would really get them into like deep meditation, and then I would get the girls into like downward dog position, and then start telling them jokes about like my sex life and something, and then everyone would get really annoyed and fooled and pissed off, and then that's...
So it's like punked almost for stand-up comedy, kind of?
Sort of like that, yeah. It's like punk, but we're not really like, but we're actually having a show.
Yeah.
So like, it's like punk, but it's followed by a comedy show.
So this is a show, you're going to be doing comedy for people that aren't prepared for comedy, not unlike Reno.
Yeah, no, like last night, I mean, there was definitely people that wanted to see the show, that knew they were going to a comedy show. And there were some old people that I think just wandered in off the streets or something, and they sort of seemed to enjoy it. I couldn't tell if they were alive or not. And then there was like some lady that was like on Lexapro that didn't know that it wasn't a conversation.
Oh my god, dude, that lady, that grandma that you got into it last night, I think you turned her blue hair back to gray.
Yeah, the grandma was cool. It was the
drunk lady?
The lady that was on like Lexapro or something, and she was just she was actually sweet. She, you know, it's the hardest part about like hecklers are like not when like someone's like you suck and like that you could just deal with because it's like you versus him, yeah. But it's when people are nice and they're heckling, right. And they're like keep going, or they're just yelling, you're stepping on your punchlines, and like because they're like coming from a good place. It's just, so it's sort of like you end up looking like a jerk.
Dude, so Kamikaze Comedy coming out, and then you do a bunch of stuff with the MMA?
Yeah, I was the head writer for the Mixed Martial Arts Awards 3 years in a row.
Sweet.
Which was great in theory. You know, it was still like, it was a fun experience, but it's hard sometimes. Like, I had to teach the fighters their lines, and a lot of them were like, "This isn't funny." I'm like, "All right, man. Well, you know, you win.
Punch it up. Go ahead."
and then they would go out and say whatever they wanted anyway. And of course, they would, and they would bomb with what they said.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't yell at them or anything because they could kill you.
Right.
But you know, it was funny though. Most of the fighters are pretty cool. Like, and then like MC Hammer, I got to hang out with him.
Is he still wearing the pants?
And no, he wasn't wearing the pants. I tried to get him to sing "You Can't Tap This" and sing around, but he wasn't down for that. He was like, "No, man." So, and then Jerry Rice was pretty cool, so that was awesome.
So how did you get involved in this? Like, did you fight yourself?
No, I never fought. I wrestled in high school, and then college. I did a little boxing after college. You know, wrestling's like one of the martial arts that they use in UFC and mixed martial arts. It's like it's a really good base to have. So like, you see so many wrestlers like go from like Division 1 or Division 2, Division 3 to like pro fighting, and that's, to me, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like what if I would have done that? I'm very happy that I'm not, because I hated losing weight, and it's a lot easier to like make people laugh than get punched in the face, you know?
Yeah, I would imagine. Dude, so a lot of people probably know you most, I would guess, from Last Comic Standing. You were a finalist.
Yeah.
Was that a pretty cool experience, or was it?
It was a mixed bag. I mean, it was really good. Like, it was hard because 3 years in a row, like, I made it to the semifinals, but then they would call me and be like, "You're off the show." Yeah. Like, not even let me compete. So that was frustrating. And then finally, I kind of like figured out that it was a game, and that they weren't gonna, like, you know, they weren't gonna let me win or even let me even advance if I was just being myself. So I kind of made it seem like I was gonna be the most obnoxious, like, come on, no one could beat me, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then when I got to the house, I was like super polite, and like every time they interviewed me, I'm like, yeah, I used to work with kids who had cancer, and you know, and like my mom left when I was 3, and like that's all I would give them, you know. And then the producers stopped interviewing me after a while, and I kind of knew that I was not going to win based on the fact that they all hated me because of that. I kind of duped them, but the overall experience was that you can't get that kind of publicity really anywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, it led to like me never having to like co-headline again and just headlining and traveling the world since then. So.
Yeah, dude, the exposure was great, and everyone knows that those shows are manipulated, and you know they're gonna pick the winner.
It was cool, like as far as like kids in high school on Facebook would be like, "Oh my God, I always knew you were the funniest," but then you know, where were you before, and then where are you after? So it's sort of like, but for the most part, it was cool. I got no complaints.
Did you start doing stand up in New York?
Yeah, I started 14 years ago in donut shops and like laundromats in New York City, and then handed out flyers for 5 years in Times Square, and like opened up my own club and begged people to come see me, and you know that's how it all started.
Dude, it's brutal, right? Especially when you start, you have to do the bringer shows, and you have to you basically pay to get on stage.
No, you do.
You know, you do. You
literally, I had to pay $50 for tickets and then sell them to my friends, and then they wouldn't buy them, so I'd give them out. So it cost me $50 to get on stage every week. Like I've done the hell gigs. I mean I can't even tell you. I did one where like it was by San Quentin Prison, and like all the kids that were like, it was a high school graduation literally, and all the kids that were there because their family was in prison, and then they were super nice kids. But then there was a basketball game next to me and a sumo wrestling thing to the right, and I'm on stage, and all of a sudden I see this like round thing coming towards my head, and I duck, and someone was like, "Yo, dog, did you get that?" I was like, "Yeah, man."
Oh man, that sounds horrible. But if you can give me the contact info,
oh no problem, man.
I'd like to have that gig. Adam Hunter, check him out on YouTube. His new what's your website?
AdamHunter.com. You can follow me on Twitter at AdamComedian. And then if you just look up Adam Comedian on Facebook, because the other one has too many people.
Hey man, thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you very much.
Like boxing, Floyd Mayweather's going to do 60 days in prison for beating up his baby mama. You know that? He said even though he's sorry, he's still undefeated. The best female fighters were lesbians though, because they make it tight as fists.